What you are looking at right now is an iPod Touch 4th generation. That belongs to me. It is admittedly a nice device. It's in decent condition. I mean, it's not the greatest, of course, as you can probably see. Yeah, that's not great at all. But in any event, there are no scratches on the screen. I haven't dropped it, and I haven't, let it fall on anything. I haven't brushed it against anything. The only real blemishes that it's got is the stuff on the back. I don't even know what that stuff is. It came from my old case. But anyway, there's a reason why I'm making this video. You don't need to see that guy. And that is because it no longer functions properly. As you can see, I clicked the lock button, and it just, rebooted itself. So, there's problem number one. Problem number two is that it is not writing to the disk or writing to the flash chips properly. So I guess the flash is on its way out. Touch 5th generation. You know what the sad thing is that over there is a 4th generation iPod, and it can't run iOS 7. I don't understand it either. But anyway, here it is. This is the 5th generation, 32 gigabyte space gray version of the iPod. I love this packaging, and I also hate this packaging at the same time. It looks pretty and everything, but it's not really eco-friendly, at all. So we've got that. Then we can hopefully get the accessory box out of here. So, let's see. We have the instruction manuals. We have the new lightning cable, which I'm going to need. We have, this is interesting. It's also stuck to the bottom. Are you kidding me? To pull the whole damn thing out? I don't know what this is, but I think it's like a loop or something. And Apple's wonderfully packaged ear pods. I don't think I'm ever even going to use them. Because if I remember right, they're in-ears, and I can't stand, they go right into your ear. I can't stand those. So, anyway, there you pretty much have that. That's it for all of that. So I'm going to get this thing out of here, and we're going to take a look at it, and I'm going to set it up. Actually, I'll set it up first, and then we'll take a look at it. Alright. We have just booted it. Select to set up. English. Set your country or region, Canada. Choose a Wi-Fi network. So let's do that. Alright, so I've had a chance to go ahead and toy around with the new iPod for quite a bit of time. And I'm going to offer up my opinions on a couple of different things. Also talk about what's going to come. I don't even remember what I was looking for. Because I was looking for something. Anyway. So, let's go ahead and talk about a couple of different things. First things first. No, I didn't get an iPhone. There's a reason for that. First of all, I have this sitting right here, which, while it may not be the best thing under the sun, has a camera that is pants, has a microphone that's pants, and the build quality is, let's face it, also pants. But, you know what? It works. It works as a phone. I have not had any problems with call reception. I have not heard any problems with people not being able to hear me. So, there's that. Plus, it's also Android. So we've got that. I wanted to get the best of both worlds. I've got an Android device, And an iOS device, in fact, I've actually got two. I've also actually got an Android tablet. As you can see, there's one sitting right... Well, not sitting right there. It's in my bag, but... That will probably have its own video coming up as well. There's my reasoning for not getting an iPhone. Oh yeah, the other reason is that it's absolutely freaking expensive. So, no, sorry, I didn't buy an iPhone. I'm going to offer up my opinions, though, on the device's, well, the actual device itself, build quality, the buttons, and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to offer up my opinion on the wrist strap. I'm going to, well, I can't really offer an opinion on these earpods yet, because I haven't tried them, but I doubt that they're going to sound any different from any other normal pair of headphones. They might be a little bit more bass heavy, but I mean, there you have it. I don't really like bass-heavy headphones, so we'll have to see what the deal is with that. The jury is still out on whether or not those are decent. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about iOS 7 briefly. I'm not going to get into the whole debate as to whether or not it's a great operating system or not, because I haven't used it enough. The other thing that I'm not going to do is I am absolutely not going to be reviewing this device, because there are hundreds of thousands of reviews of iPod 5th generations out there, and everybody that's done one so far, or at least the majority of people that have done it so far, have probably done it better than I ever could. So I don't even need to bother with that. So I won't. I'm going to talk about the lightning connector that is sitting over here. This little thing right here. And I am going to talk about Apple's packaging, which I thought this was the actual box for it, but I thought it seemed a little bit small. This is the one for the 4th gen, so that's this one. Alright, so let's first offer up my opinion on the device. The bigger screen is actually quite a bit better than I was expecting. I like to have the, I actually do like the extended, I'm going to have to unlock it here. I do like the fact that I can now put more applications on one screen. As you can see, we've got about 4 rows here of about 4. Here we've got 5 rows of 4, which means that the applications that I want, and this is basically the only applications that I want, except for one. The last one that I want to put on here is actually a graphing calculator application. But in any event, this is basically the way that I want it to be set up. I just like the way that it's set up. The other thing that I really like about the new iPod itself is the fact that, not that it's lighter weight, is that it's smaller and a lot more easy to hold than like this. Of course, opinions may differ, your mileage will vary, but I find it a lot easier to grip this, even though it is thinner and lighter. As for negative things, I don't like the feel of the lock buttons. They're a lot better than the ones on some of the older iPhones, but I don't like the feel of the lock buttons. I don't like the feel of the rear panel. I think it feels quite a bit more cheaply built than something I would expect from Apple. But then again, it is still metal, unlike a lot of other things, which are going to completely plastic backs now. And the other thing that I don't like is this. Some of you already know what this is, but for those that don't, let me show you what that's for. And there you can now see what it is meant for. It is actually meant for a wrist strap. I have a couple of problems with this wrist strap. Number one, you have to take the case off just to put the damn thing on. And number two, it doesn't even close. Like, you can't close that at all, which basically makes it almost useless. So I won't be using this. I don't think a lot of people use it. My brother has a 5th generation iPod, and he finds it really annoying too. So I'm not the only one. It's the thought is there. The thought is definitely there, but I don't like that feature. I don't think a lot of people really like that feature, and I can't see it being used all that often. It's just sort of another one of those things that's there that really doesn't need to be there. The speaker is a little bit bigger, I think. Yes, the speaker is a little bit different than the one on the other iPod. You can tell the size difference right off the bat. The home button is darker. I thought that was interesting. The home button's a darker color, and the screen is also a bit of a darker color. Not much, but it's noticeable. You can see that, is this upside down? Well, this case doesn't actually have an opening for it, but the layout is completely reversed on the bottom, not on the top. On the top, it's perfectly fine. I do like the flash. The flash is actually a pretty useful feature. You can use it as a flashlight. You can also use it as a video light, which, given that this thing shoots 1080p video, I might use it for a couple of my video projects. Maybe not some of my longer ones, because obviously it'd be a bear to do that kind of stuff on this. But anyway, so we've got that. Now let's talk about iOS. One thing that I am really, really glad about, as I log in here, if I could actually type on this keyboard. I have never been able to type on, you suck. Fine. Really? There we go. One thing that I really, really am thankful that Apple did with this new iOS, I am very thankful that they got rid of that goofy, glass-like user interface. Call it what you may, but I thought there was absolutely no reason to come out with something like that. As you can see, everything has a shine to it, which is great, but the problem is we're not in 2001 anymore. The whole reason for coming out with a glass-like user interface is to make everything look more appealing to a brand new computer user, or a brand new iDevice user. It's supposed to be attractive, and it's supposed to make the user interface become less daunting to a newcomer than it would be. But now it is 2014 as of the making of this video. 2001 was 13 years ago. I'm pretty sure that everybody and their goldfish over the age of 5 has seen an iPod and or used an iPod. So they know how the whole thing works. We don't need the glass-like user interfaces anymore. Sorry. So I'm glad that they finally decided to revamp the whole thing. There are certain things that I don't like about it. One thing that I definitely do like is this new task manager. So you can see, one thing that I find really weird is that these don't scroll quite exactly along with all the programs. It's kind of weird that they're not centered right, but that's okay. I can see where they're coming from. So we've got all of that. What else? What else did I want to talk about with this? This looks a little bit better. This right here, the new command center, I've found to be quite useful as well. Helps me do a lot of things. The other iPods don't have that. And then this looks a little bit different, but not quite. I've never really used it for anything. One thing I don't like about the new iOS is this. These folders. So you used to be able to just like tap on it, tap somewhere, like it would show all the other applications, it would zoom out and you would be able to see these. And you were limited to, I think it was 12 applications. In fact, I could tell you exactly how many applications it's limited to. It is limited to 12 applications. That's what it looks like on the old iOS. On the new one, they don't show you anything. They show you a title, and then that's pretty much all she wrote about that. So it's not very clear how you're supposed to exit this, unless you hit the home button. Or you could tap outside. Which, granted, I guess is still the same as the old iOS, but you used to be able to tap on the program group. Let's just call them program groups. Now, if you tap on the program group, it does absolutely nothing. So that's kind of a step backwards. The control panel layout is kind of freaky still. I find that some things are organized in a way that doesn't seem like it was really thought out that well. Could be worse. Everything could be under the wrong categories, but still. Mail was easy to set up. My weather application was easy to set up. Downloading applications was easy to set up. All that was easy. I don't have a problem with any of that. The camera application, I'm going to have to give it a meh. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it per se. It's just kind of weird. that now shifting like this changes the different, like, I mean, that's weird. I've never even noticed that before. But it just seems awfully weird that there isn't a toggle switch like there used to be on the old camera app, as you can see here. There used to be a toggle switch between photo and video mode. I liked that because it was separate from the actual application. Sliding left and right implies that I'm possibly changing the camera, but that's not what actually happens. Instead, you still have to press a button in the upper right corner to change the cameras, like you used to have to do with the other devices. Well, you didn't need to see that guy now, did you? But anyway, video taking is pretty good. I love the camera. I absolutely love the camera. Check that out. That is absolutely crystal clear. This camera does not do a very good job representing it. In fact, it's so clear you can see all the dirt on that screen. I'm going to have to clean it. But anyway. One thing that I just noticed that now. You can edit photos on here. Oh yeah, one other thing that I want to point out is that a lot of these icons have changed. That, I don't even know what that is supposed to be. Well, obviously it's Game Center, but still. It doesn't really portray its purpose very well, which is something that I really, really would love to see in an application. Like, icon choice really, for me, is important. Because to a first-time user, they would take one look at that and think that it's some kind of pop the bubble game or something. I don't know. They wouldn't think that it's Game Center. Even though it does have something to do with games, but I don't really understand what the point of that logo is. Everything else here is pretty much okay. Videos is still pretty much the same. Most of them were just given flatter appearances. So I have no problems with that. Most of the icons are all just the same, but with a flatter appearance. And with some different colors thrown in. FaceTime and camera. Okay. I guess I'll buy that, since that's the FaceTime icon that's been around for a while, so whatever. Everything else I think is okay about the operating system. I don't think there's anything else that I want to point out. Maybe there was one more thing, but anyway, so that's enough of that. Again, don't like this. The buttons, I'm going to give the buttons a meh. They're better than some of the iPhone buttons, but still, especially with a case on. They're a lot harder to push than the older buttons. And they don't give as much of a satisfactory click as the older buttons do. EarPods, I'm going to have to rant about those another day, because I guarantee you I'm probably going to end up ranting about them. But speaking of rants, Apple's packaging. This is cardboard, or I don't even think this is cardboard. I think this might be some kind of a synthetic cardboard or something. Either way, let's just assume that it is actual cardboard. Alright, that seems all fine and dandy. This right here. That stuff falls off my bed and onto the floor. I don't know why it's not coming out of the box. Come on. Anyway, you get the idea. This right here is also paper. Everything in here is paper. Apple's whole thing is that it's designed to be recyclable. Then why the hell are you putting it in this plastic container? Would you stop that? Like, seriously. Go cease existing. Jeez. Anyway. So, yeah, like I was saying, why would you put it in a plastic container if your whole idea is to be recyclable? Put it in a box like the old iPhones used to be. And I don't even know if the new iPhones come in a box, a cardboard box. I would assume that they do. But, like, this is completely just not even necessary at all. They do the same with their Magic Mice. They do the same with a lot of their other peripherals, especially the old EarPod containers. Like, if you remember, the EarPods used to be in a plastic case, and, ooh, that's bad. They used to be in a plastic case, and they used to have this cardboard thing inside. Really? Why are you wasting cardboard in a package that is not completely biodegradable anyways? It's just going to end up in a landfill. It's just going to be more plastic sitting there, not degrading over hundreds of thousands of years. Or 50 years. Or however long it takes for plastic to finally start breaking down. This kind of stuff is great. I like to see eco-friendly packaging, so I'm going to give this one a pass on all that stuff. But there is absolutely no excuse for packaging your crap in a box like this. They have the devices on display in the stores anyway. Users do not need to see the thing encased in this, what is essentially like a podium. That's what they treat this like. In fact, this makes it look like even more of a podium. It's like number one, like first place or whatever. I don't even get it at all. I've never understood Apple's packaging. I don't think I ever will. But it needs to stop, because this is not like friendly packaging at all. I cannot even imagine how much it costs to make one of these, which is probably why Apple's stuff is so freaking expensive, because they spend so much time trying to make everything look good. And like, really, you could be spending that time innovating on what they're doing instead of not only creating products like this, well, creating packaging like this, which, as far as I'm concerned, has absolutely no use whatsoever in a world like this, where everybody's concerned about biodegradability, and also suing the pants off of each other. I don't understand that either. But anyway, we're not even going to get into that. So here's basically my thoughts in a much longer video segment than I intended. This is already at 12 minutes. So I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then. Here is the old iPod's video. Hopefully this is going to work. So far, it seems to be doing a lot better than it was last night. When it wasn't even working at all. So far, it's doing alright. Oop, just froze there. Okay, it's still working. Anyway, so this is going to be upscaled to 1080p simply because I don't feel like downscaling everything to 720 just for this one video clip. But I'm going to leave it at that so I can easily send this to another computer and hopefully not have any issues. So, well, there you go. Let's move on to the new one now. And here is the new one. Go ahead and refocus it and do all of that. Some stuff up there, and then turn around. And you can even zoom while recording video. Can't do that with the old one. The other thing that this one has that the old one doesn't have is a video light, as you can see. It's got a light on it. This is actually the space gray iPod, if I didn't already mention it, even though I think I did. But it's got a blue case on it, because, of course, I like my blue case. I like to have my cases, thank you very much. This is the old one. I'm going to miss this tape case, but oh well, you can't have everything. But this certainly works well enough. Looks pretty good, actually. So there's our little video test.